All right, so I'll start. Thank you. All right. Everyone that's here, everything good? Yeah, right?
Yes.
Well, thank you for inviting me and for being here. I'm Heidi Castillo, and I'm a marketing agile practitioner. I'm sorry because my presentation is in Spanish. I didn't have time to translate it. I'm so sorry, but it doesn't say too much words, so I'll just explain it to you. And if you have any question during my speech, please write it down or open your mics. That's no problem. I like to be in a conversation. Well, that means that before the pandemic, I have like 20, I don't know, 100 pounds more now. Um, I study science of communication and I specialize in marketing and team leadership. My experience was really a lot of communication and marketing and, that bubble. Then one day, my company, my client knock on my door and say, we're in agile transformation. So you are our marketing agency. So you have to translate because now we're going to talk about Scrum and dailies and iterations and, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, what? So I was trying to looking around, see what it is. I discovered the community. I discovered the Women in Agile community. I'm a local leader in Peru. I invite you to come and visit our community. We have a really nice big one community. And that's it. That's how Agile knocked on my door. So I become leadership in software teams that I say, oh, this is nice. Agile actually works. This is nice. I like it. But I didn't like software. Like, I don't like software. That's not for me. I like my marketing and my communications and my public relations. So I say, how do I translate that to here? So I start, I discover the certifications and all that. So I was like, okay, that's too much expensive for me. So I'll go and start knocking other person's doors. So I start talking, okay, what about Kanban? So one day I came to my team, it's like, let's try Kanban. My team was like, what? Okay, that doesn't work. Okay, let's try Scrum. My team was like, what? It's like, okay, that doesn't work. So that's how I did Agile. I was like around 5-6 years, past. And then I realized that just last year, there's a whole new thing in marketing, in agility in marketing. And, most of the things are already written and the process is already there. So I was like, oh my God, I like that. So what is marketing? Like people ask me that a lot. If you go and, just write in Google and just write it down, what it's marketing, it will say these things. It's just techniques and a study that have like an object to commercialize a product or a service. That's it. That's our object. That was our, that's what we live for as marketeers. So I was start asking, and whenever I go to a company, I say, what, we do marketing for serve or for sell? And people are like, we need to sell because, if I don't sell, I don't make money. I was like, okay. And they usually come to me and like, you are the boss. You have to sell. Why we don't sell? Like, it's your fault. Let's just sell up. Let's do a marketing strategy here. And I start asking, what about the money, the process, the environment? Usually the companies, they're like, what? So I come down and I start looking and I understand what VUCA means. It's an environment that change, it's ambiguous, it's complex, it have a lot of uncertainty. So I was like, how I can plan a campaign, an 8-month campaign, and 2 years campaign in an environment like that. Here in Peru, we are actually in election time. And I have a client says my campaign have to go around July because it's our Independence Day. So I have a lot of marketing happening on, a lot of sales to do. And it's like how we can actually planify a campaign for like 2 months ahead if we don't know who's going to win. And we are against liberty and communism right now. So it's like, what are we doing? And I said, we have a lot of complexity. So what we do, like actually they keep asking me what we do. We have to planify for everything. I was like, the world just comes complex and marketing work comes complex. So when they ask me, so you're a marketeer, so you know how to design, you know how to do a strategy, you know how to write, I have my company, please do me a logo and a strategy, a website. And I'm like, okay, we as marketeers, everyone, we're specialized. I like that. I pick up that from Agile Shippers. It's a company that specializes in agility marketing. I encourage to looking for it. They have a lot of information. I really like it. I actually take a lot of things of this presentation from that company. So with that, we are specialized. There's UX, there's creative, there's tech, there's marketing management right here, where's the place that I like to live on. And there's mobile, so everything went complex. So when people start asking me, okay, what about campaign design? So like you cannot call everyone and no one at the same time. Just, everyone wants to do a lot of things with so much little money. So it's like, what we do again? So the marketing, it's changed. They have a lot of new positions. I think a lot of new names, and I like that. I start liking that. But actually, how we management haven't changed since, I don't know, the 1800s, because that's when marketing started. When the first advertising were like handmade and just space of post on on the streets or all your flyers. The way we management or how we do it, it hasn't changed in a long time. And because of that, it's like most of the times we waste time, we waste money, and we waste energy. For us, when we have a campaign almost lasts around 8 months, yeah, to create and get on the market a campaign. So for 8 months, you start really slow doing, the concept and briefing, and you start with your company, your marketing company, your creative company, your boutique company, whatever you want to call it. And the CEO start, yeah, my objective says that I have to pick up my sales in 2%, and my software team has developed a great new app that with one click everything comes to your house and blah blah. It's like, oh my gosh, that's so great. So how are we going to sell it? Like, we have to think in a concept, colorway, design. So all that think about take a lot of 3 months. It's like from coming and going. Okay, the CEO approved, the committee approved that the concept's done. Then we actually need to hurry up, do the website. We need a website, do the TV thing, do the flyers, draw, and for 8 months you're really exhausted. And the last part of the change, that the operation just like get on the advertising on the market. Everyone is so exhausted, so tired. And I was like, I did that when I started working on advertising. I was knocking my friend doors. It's like that. Like every time you have to deliver a campaign, by the end you don't sleep, you don't eat, you work 3 days in a row in an office, and you don't see your family. And my friends are like, yeah, that's it, that's what we do. And it's like no one complains, there's no changing. And like people's like, no, because everyone in the world does it like that. In the world, because when I was working abroad on other countries, or I start asking another person, and there are whole books about it. Yeah, when you go to the end, you rush, you don't eat, you lose weight, you are so straight, your hair fall off, because that's how it works. So I didn't like that when I say, no, that's not for me. So it's like, thank you, but no thank you. That's not for me. I think I actually wanna learn a new way to do a campaign without killing myself or my team. So that's when I discovered agility. And I find out I wasn't alone in that world. As a marketeer, I wasn't alone. So then I realized that there's a lot of research about it. So how do I change my CEO mind? It's like, okay, great, your software team, it's so great, it's getting software. Well, we have to do the same thing. And my team was like, my CEO was like, I don't quite understand you. So it's like, let's pick out what software that's good. That is mean, there's a lot of excessive grow up rates on developing new software. You have more quality and you have more motivation in your teams. Now the software team's always happy, and we used to be the happy ones. We're just so tired. So it's like, okay, what we're gonna do? It's like, So this is how a campaign actually works. So like I was telling you, you have the big strategy, you have like the creative, like just like Mad Men. Someone see Mad Men? So Mad Men, that's when he's like, yeah, lucky, that doesn't happen in the real life. You have to do a lot of research and talk it, and we live about research. So we have the campaign briefing, then you have the creative, then you have the schedule that is like a really, really long list of timing and doing things. Then you do the result. After 8 months, you have the results. And after 8 months, you realize if your campaign actually worked or no. There is a lot of news here that I saw every time in marketing magazines that says, Coca-Cola spent 3 million in a campaign and it doesn't work. Pepsi does for 100 millions in a round world campaign, and pandemic came, it doesn't work. It changed, everything lost. So that happened in big companies, small companies. I remember when I was studying my master's degree for advertising, they tell me a story that a big pharmaceutical company have developed his new product, insulin, right? And they have to do like a marketing campaign that a nurse will come to you and teach you how to use the insulin, how to do good and blah blah. So everyone sounds like that sounds really great. It's like, well, a nurse will come to me from the the laboratory, and they'll teach me and they'll give me this free stuff, and that's actually sounds great. So it took around, I don't know, 2 years, I think, to make that up. And in the end, anyone comes to your house, they didn't buy the product, and it have to be marketing was like, it's sales program, marketing, I don't know, blame the insulin, that doesn't work. So because you didn't have too much research about it, too much observation about it, they didn't know too much about how that word works. So that's how Agile comes here. And one of the first things that they told me is like, start saying the things by his name, start talking about iterations. Don't do big things, do small things. I was like, okay, that sounds really nice, but how I can become 8 months work on creative in a 2 weeks job? I told that to my design, and my design was like, so you want me to design something that used to be like 3 weeks in like what, half an day? She was like, so I was like, talk to my creatives, like, but it takes me around, I don't know, 3 days in actually come with a concept, a good concept. And you say that I don't have 3 days anymore, I have like, I don't know, 2 hours. And I was like, okay, that's a really good question. Just let me knock on other people's door again. That's why I started experimenting pre-programming. I was like, okay, let's put everyone together. Let's talk. Because in an agency, if anyone goes to an agency, you have like small divided group, the creative that goes all hippies and just come around whatever they want. The executive clients that goes like they're nicest girls in the team.
The design of importing the ESAs into the system is in place. That
I'm sorry, I didn't quite understand that. Can you repeat again? I don't know who speaks. Okay. Okay, if you can read it, I didn't quite understand that. If someone did, just let me know. So that's like how it actually works, and that's how we used to work. So I put everyone together in the table, say, let's talk, let's sing. I don't need one big thing. I just need like a small thing. Whatever comes to your mind that you think you can help them, and we'll taste it and we'll try it. People actually get a lot confused. They were a lot confusing. They realize it happens everywhere when you start a transformation. So we did it. We did it anyway. Then I discovered actually there is a manifesto of agility in marketing, and I really like it. What it says, learning and trying goes from opinion sorry, over hearsay and rules. One of the big things that you hear when you're a marketing manager is your CEO telling you, I think this could work. I think, my teen-year daughter says that TikTok it's on the run. Why won't they do some campaigns on TikToks? I'm like, We don't need TikToks. Like we have to evaluate if actually that's for us. We also have that big wall around the client, that thing that happens everywhere. So that's it. It's just talk more with the client, and the client usually doesn't know what they want. I think everyone knows that. So we have to, trying to learn it and trying to, take it out of the brain and what they want. And actually, it's not what you want as a client. It's what you people, your market needs. And start doing small campaigns, small campaigns that actually help out. If you are a big company or a small company, it actually works. Find a we as well, we work a lot with data. With data, we don't excess. I really believe that. But sometimes we go a lot of close mining with data that don't realize there is more about that, more about just a statistic. One of the things I really like when I started discovering UX is that there is a part of on the UX research it goes watching. You just sit there and watch the people, watch your client all day. And I started learning that we used to do that. If you know the Victoria's Secret company, the one who created, he just sit one day in front of on a store and start just watching who actually bought the underwear. It's like women bought underwear. Why we do marketing campaigns for men if women bought underwear? So he changed everything. That I was like, and then I realized I used to do that. I always think about value. I always think about client. When I don't know when that changed. Maybe one time just changed over the 100 years that we have around. I'm not quite sure. And one of the things I actually like is being flexible. Yeah, it's like that actually works for me because we have a really long schedule of things. If you don't do that, everything in the change just breaks down. So let's be flexible, and that's something that logistic and financial didn't quite understood. And I was like, I need a flexible budget, and financial was like, what? I was like, yeah, we need a flexible budget because I need flexibility. If my work is going to change, I need flexibility, to make my money change. And that was actually a struggle, but it quite understood. Start doing small and answer to change. Here in the 80s, in Peru, in the 80s, no, I lived in far away, I think 70s. Yeah, we were really a closed country. Yeah, we're really closed country. And then everything come up, the government start open the commerce and everything. So Coca-Cola came here. And Coca-Cola came here as the big company that it is. Like, I'm going to rush here. I'm going to invest a lot of money in Peru because, I'm Coca-Cola. And for now on, no one has ever defeated me when I come to a new market. And they didn't realize that we as Peruvians didn't like the taste. We didn't know the brand. And no one actually bought it. Yeah, they were actually thinking, go away from the market. And because no one bought it, no one really liked it. We have our own soda that calls Inca Cola, and everyone likes Inca Cola, and no one wants to buy Coca-Cola. So that was the huge fail. Is when I was studying, they actually studied that in Harvard, and there's a book about it. What they actually failed because they didn't know us, they didn't know how to change, they didn't know that our world was changing, and they have to change with us. So they bought, in the end, they bought the rival company, and they're big again. But that's what happened. So from all the theory that I just said, I don't have any questions because I talk a lot of theory and examples. So here I just want to do, and I want to show you something that I did when I started changing. And this is an example of what I did in one small campaign. So I mix up design thinking with Lean Startup. I like work more with Lean than in another frame or method. I really like it. I think it has a lot of value. I don't know. It's like a personal life. So we have a company that is a huge company here. It's actually in Latin America. It's one of the biggest food company here. So they have to improve. They were changing as well, transformation, agile. They were changing, blah blah. In order to change, they have to improve their the website, the learning website. Like as employee, you have to get there. Get a lot of courses. and get a certificate and all that. So they used to work, it was like, if you don't get it and get the courses done, you get a memo. If you get a memo, you get a writing memo. If you get 2 writing memos, you get 5. So a lot of people complain because, you know, that's actually a really bad thing. Because you didn't do a couple of courses, you get fired, but people say like, but I have a lot of work. How if I had a lot of work, you put me more work, and you tell me I have to do this in my free time because my manager say I cannot do the courses on my own, my job time. And we're like, okay, what we do? So they came to me, it's like, Heidi, we want to do a campaign that people understand the good thing about doing these courses. We invest a lot of money in this website and no one wants to use it. We have to spend a lot of money in these courses and no one wants to see it. Or if they see it, they don't realize how, you know, the rich of knowledge they have. So I was like, okay, just our objective was actually improve the satisfaction of, you know, the employees using the website. So it was like, that's what you think. Like, you think that they don't want to use it, but actually, I don't know, ask them if they actually want to, don't want to, and why. So I mix up. I start doing the first thing to understand. So I start asking questions to a lot of people around. I did a small groups, you know, just 5 from each country, because we were in a lot of Latin America. That was the campaign. We did an empathy map. We started doing concepts, and we found the pain. And actually the pain wasn't what, you know, the CEO was thinking. It was just, they actually want to do the courses, but they don't understand why they have to do it. And I was like, that's actually quite simple, but they didn't understand. It's like, well, that's important for me. I want to study in another university. Why we have to sit there and, you know, teach this? So we have the pain. So from that pain, we do the 5 whys. I think everyone knows what the 5 why is. Yes, why 5 times. So we do it a lot of concepts with a map concepts, and we just select key concept. We did, I remember, 5 key concepts. So from that, and everything just happened like quite fast. I didn't get too much, like 2 months. It was just like 1 month, something like that. That was a lot of time reduction to find the concept, because before it will take me like, I don't know, like 3 months to actually get approved by the concept. So I went to the CEO, was like, I have 5 concepts. And the CEO was like, no, but we need 1. What? It's like, what, 5? What? It's like, I have 5 and I want to test it. It's like a hypothesis. I want to test it. I'm going to send it out there and see what happens. And we're just going to learn about it. And it's like, that's actually what I did with Lean. So I send them there. I start saying, you know, the channels, it's like WhatsApp, workplace, mail, the murals, because they work in plans. So murals, panels, flyers, and I set it out there, just little by little, you know, start trying. We start learning, we receive what happened, what was working, and, you know, from that thing that goes around 3 months, we, from all 5, we just keep 1. And actually that one was one with knowledge that changed a lot. It got mixed, the message, the keys, the words, the wording. But actually that's the one everyone understands in the end why they have to do the courses. It was a lot of learning, because the CEO was saying, like, you know, we use WhatsApp, let's do a marketing WhatsApp campaign. It's like, because everyone wants to see your WhatsApp, right? Everyone, you have your phone all the time. But then we realized that all the employees, they don't like WhatsApp. So everyone that your managers used to sending over there, they never look at it. And we have more response for the mail or workplace or flyers. You know, it's like, okay, no one needs, because I remember one of the clients says, the chief of marketing in that company says, we're not going to invest on flyers because no one sees flyers. And we realized they actually like more flyers. I don't know why, but they actually like it, because, you know, we're walking and just on the way of going to lunch, they'll see the flyer, and that's when we use the phone to see what's happening. But that's how we realized that, you know, get learning over, that's the first one, learning over on opinions. So we trash all their opinions over learnings. And I was like, I remember that was the first thing I realized, how Agile can work for me. How can I actually work? I remember for this, I put together the design, the program, and the creative and the writing. I was like, we'll have to sing together. And everyone was like saying, but my job is not design, my job is not write, my job is not thing. It's like, we're gonna sing together. And it was like, okay, and they actually like it. And we realized that we didn't spend like 3 hours doing, sorry, 3 hours exhausted in the end of the week. We just go with the flow and actually really like it. Can you excuse me? I'm just gonna put my connector because my battery is running down. Just 2 seconds. Oh, sorry about that. I thought it was full. I'm so sorry. So that's why it works. That's what I did. I really like it. It helps for everyone here who wants to do in their own company. If you have small one, I actually like it. So then I start finding out that, you know, safe, easy, agile, everyone works, and start researching about marketing, how they can work. So I really like this is marketing as a stakeholder in a key safe events. I really like it. I put it down as like, and that actually helped me how to manage my work process, you know, the marketing presentation, my planning, my adaptation, my PI planning, the Scrum, the POCing, how that actually works with us as a marketeers. Really like that. Unfortunately, the marketing safe course is not open for everyone, but if you write to Melissa Reeves, I'm sure she can give you more about it. I'm not part of the safe community, but actually really like Melissa. I stalked her for a really long time because I really want to learn how marketing was adapting. All this is data from Agile Shippers. I invite you, if you want to know about it, please search for Agile Shippers. They actually do a lot of research of agility in marketing. Sorry. And that's it. I started. Of course, everything here is up to US and Europe. There is not too much about Latin America. I hope it will change. I'll make a change. But I think it will help us. And well, that's it. What this first question is, what are the big reasons why you start doing an agile marketing? And one of the main ones was increase the capacity of management my priorities. Yeah, when I remember when we used to do a Scrum, it's like, okay, we're gonna do Scrum 2 weeks. Everything goes in 2 weeks, stays for 2 weeks. Then explosive happens, like, okay, we have to break down the sprint because, you know, this is really important. All right, then a new law came here and we have to change because now we cannot advertise in certain things. Like, okay, we have to break down the sprint. So that changed for us, changed a lot. And they have a lot of important, I don't know what say important thing, but for me, if everything is important, nothing is important. So how important become the agile marketing for you as a company? And people start saying really important. So that's, I don't know, that's like 84%. That's really good. The change is well embraced. What they use hybrid, and I start matching with that when I asked the Agile Shippers CEOs, like, they use hybrids, like, yeah, because they start exploring, and he said, like you do, like I did, they start exploring what works for you. And that's how we use a hybrid. I work Kanban, Lean, design thinking, wherever actually works for what you want to do. So it's like I related to that. What are the benefits? It's the capacity of changing direction. For us, of course, do a campaign plans a lot of money, and we actually are the last part of the production chain. So if we fail, the people say that if our campaign fail, the product won't sell, and you know that goes all the way back. So in the other, when the environment changed, like with the pandemic, everything changed around the world. All the companies were like, we're going to do, okay, we'll move digital. No one have ever do that. I don't know, we're trying. When I start asking my friends, so how do you do the change? And it was like, it was awful. And when I start asking my other friends who actually happened for an agile transformation, she said it was smooth because they got actually get used to that. One of the most obstacles that actually helps you to do this transformation is lack of formation. When I start talking this with my friends, I actually have my own small company called Muspa Ideas. And when I say to my colleague that when I start the company, it's like, okay, we're gonna move forward. I'm gonna do agile, I'm gonna sell agile. My friend, one of my partners, were like, huh? It's like it will be. I was like, let's be flexible. It's like, no, but you know, the contract says, yeah, why are you gonna change it? Let's be flexible. It's like, I don't want to be flexible because they actually don't know and don't understand what we're talking about. That's it. There's a lack of formation. Everyone think, as always, that the process actually works. You know, we're doing this from more than 100 years. So why you want to change it? When it says lack of talent again, is because the marketeers are not actually prepared for understanding what's going on, how we're going to work, that you're not alone anymore. So actually that's just get knowing, that's what I want to do. There's a marketing around, there's a new way to work and it actually works. So with this, I just ended and it actually say, look forward, look to the value and equality, and we just make a solution that evolve through a continual learning process. That's actually like when I start doing something, it's like, let's do a concept that actually evolve around the whole time of the campaign we want to do. Just evolve. No, don't make a step, just evolve with your public and your company and the time. So if any have any questions, please, I'm open to answer it. If no one understands anything, I can do it again as well. That was a joke.
I have a quick question. So right now, it seems like you have a hybrid role for marketing and a Scrum Master. Is that what's been your main
Yes,
focus?
right now I am a Scrum Master in a marketing team. I can let you know a little bit more about it. We are in I'm working actually in a big financial company that goes from, especially in small entrepreneurs, right? They give you like a small budget so you can start it, like really small, around $300, $100, so you maybe can start your business. So when the pandemic came, our public didn't know how to be digital. Everything was just kind of confusing, and so they start doing the agile transformation. The marketing company here, it's huge. It's really huge. It's more like 500 people. So they're kind of like separated, and I'm actually a company and squad that calls segmentation. It's like we have to separate the different kind of publics that we have in the company. So they're all like all around. They're like all together.
Oh, well, that's interesting. I jotted down some notes. Our time has ended and we are gonna have a break. So if you had any contact information that you wanted to post in the chat, so we could either, have questions for you and or discuss things further with you, if you could share.
Oh yeah, I can. I leave you my LinkedIn page, so you can just add me there and we talk. I like to talk.
Power on. Pairing. Your device is connected.
Oh, I'm not sure what that was, but yes, you said you put your LinkedIn information in our chat.
Yeah, just hold on. I don't know what the internet's not cooperating.
Oh, that was your message. Okay, one moment. Well, if you wanted to hang out in the room, I can get that and share that with everyone, so everyone can have a chance to have a break, because we're going to start another session.
That's it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Everyone, I hope you guys stay tuned for our next session. I am going to stop recording now.